Hello, guys. Welcome back to Creative Companion. Today, I wanted to talk about some of the illusions that come with artistry, and I'm making this video because I myself had certain illusions of what it takes to be an artist, and some of the things, some of the challenges that I wasn't aware of when you embark on this journey. So I just wanted to say, I'm just going to speak for myself, but like Lana Del Rey comes to mind when you see her whole brand image and you see like this young, wild, free poet that just looks like they're living on the edge. But I just come to realize that a lot of that is really just a persona for us to partake in and for us to be entertained by. So it wasn't until I started releasing my own creative work that I was like, oh, this is a lot tougher than I thought. And it's like the cool part is you're creating something unique, you're learning more about yourself, but the not so cool part is that you have to basically you have to be so vulnerable to the world. And it's something very interesting because as an artist you have to be really sensitive, because you have to be sensitive to the world around you. You have to be sensitive and in tune with yourself, so you can't completely block yourself from the world. But at the same time, you have to be emotionally resilient. And I really don't think that there's anything else. Like, I really can't think of anything else that requires such vulnerability and courage and faith and just the ability to put your emotions and personal work and personal story out in the world. The ability to take criticism and not necessarily take it like you digest it, more in the sense like you don't get defensive, but you have to learn how to basically like bob and weave it. But yeah, I just like wanted to get into that because I had no idea. I was like, oh, like, what do you mean I'm not just going to be on top of the world creating cool work? Everybody's going to love what I have to say, how I express myself. Like, I didn't realize the amount of embarrassment, humiliation, and judgment that would come with being a creative person, and not just more of an artist, because you can be a creative person behind closed doors, but it's a different story when you're actually publishing and sharing your creative work. And really, I wanted to also talk about how a strong self-image and emotional resilience is really important to when it comes to publishing your work, because lost my train of thought. Where was I? Oh, yes. So being an artist in a mechanical, gray, dull world can feel shameful. I've already been talking about how it can also feel very embarrassing, but it's because you're like, when you're embarking on a creative journey, you are going outside of the tribe. Like, you start thinking differently, you start maybe dressing differently too, you start doing things that are outside of the norm, like maybe from, you're not the same as your coworkers, you're not the same as your family, you're not the same as your friends. Once you start being more authentic to yourself and really following and letting your creativity guide you. But there is a lot of shame that comes with this path, because artists aren't revered. They're not venerated, revered, or adored until their creative work is widely seen and sold. So you have to be able to really have a strong sense of self and confidence when it comes to this, because any little comment against your work, like those slight comments, can really make or break you. Like, you put out your first song and then you get negative feedback. If you don't have a strong self-image and confidence, like, that can just like send you back into your shell, and you don't want to ever come back out again. So like the second single that I came out with, it was it had really like heavy religious messages in there, like basically like I was speaking out against religion, and I was really scared to release that. But I had to publish it because it was on my heart. But I did receive a lot of negative feedback that I really wasn't ready for, and I was like, oh shit, I just offended people. They're not gonna like listen to me anymore. But there has to be also, so let me just finish that. There does have to be a sense of selfishness when it comes to protecting your integrity and honesty when it comes to your work, because you are naturally going to start thinking about, what will my family think about this? What will my church think about this? What will my coworkers think about this if I say something that is out of the norm, or I say something to challenge the society that we live in? And you have to be brave and strong and honest enough to protect that idea, protect that thought, so you are able to release it out into the world despite what your immediate circle thinks about it. And then there also is a sense of selflessness when it comes to publishing creative work, and this is where you can actually detach from the feedback you get on your work, because your work then becomes a part of culture, and you don't have a say anymore in how people feel about it, how people take it, because that's their own personal taste and opinion. So in that way, you can be selfless and be like, oh, really, at the end of the day, like, this work, it came from me, but it's not really about me. This is to enhance culture in the way that I can, offer different perspective, and also inspire others to create. So I would say also, it is good to be neutral when it comes to not only criticism but praise too. I was thinking that at this point, like, I don't really care when people say, oh, you sing good, or like anything having to do with my musical talents. Like, what I am really grateful for these days is when people tell me, oh, your work actually inspires me to create. I think that is more of the attitude that you should cling on to, rather than like, oh, how much how much hate is this going to get, or how much praise is this going to get. Rather, hang on to how much is this actually going to inspire change. And that is really the mentality that I go in with when I'm creating. Yes, I seek to express myself and express my own perspective, but at the same time, like, my goal is also to activate other people's potential and activate their own desires and their own spark. So, yeah. Let me see if I covered everything, because I wrote this last night, and yeah, I think I pretty much covered what I was talking about in my blog here. You're going to need that emotional resilience to express yourself, to be honest, and to be able to stand tall in the face of criticism, and also understanding that it's not about you. This is about how you inspire change and activating other people, and remain neutral when it comes to feedback. I think I'm kind of repeating myself here, but I just wanted to close up. And what else? I think that covers it. For those of you who have been watching the past few weeks, I do want to get into more. This channel is going to have two sides to it, but I'm going to be talking about the spiritual aspects, the spiritual, emotional aspects of creativity, but I also want to get into the technical realm of things, because I struggled a lot in that area, and now I finally, like, now I already see the light at the end of the tunnel. Like, I was in a technical tunnel for a long time. So I really just would like to know what y'all would like to learn and what to do. I guess I'm asking because I know there's already so much information out there. That's why I feel like my spiritual insights can be of more value to y'all, but I also want to help y'all technically. So please let me know in the comments what y'all would like to learn and how I can help y'all, even if it's personally. I'm also offering creative companion services and the ability to collaborate with me. Yeah, so if you're interested in that, follow me on Substack and shoot me a message. Let me know about your projects. And yeah, hope to see y'all next week.